Today we're going to be talking about how you can memorize your playbook. Now, the first step to memorizing a playbook, I feel, is making note cards. So we're going to give you an exact process, step-by-step breakdown on at least how I would memorize a playbook. And then towards the end of this video, we're going to talk about if you don't have a playbook, as you'd be surprised. A lot of high school youth teams, they don't even have a physical playbook for you to memorize. It's just they expect you to learn it as you go on. So we're going to talk about some of the best strategies that you could do for that, okay? But now, first things first is I'd say you want to get some note cards. So with these note cards, you want to have the name of the play on one side. So let's say the name of this play is Wyoming, right? And then on the back of the note card, what you want to have is you want to have the actual play drawn out with everybody's route and everybody's responsibility. Obviously, this can vary based on the position that you play. Like if you're offensive line, your calls might be different. If you're on defense, things might look a little bit different. But let's say you're a quarterback or receiver, this is exactly how it should look. If you're a receiver and let's say you only play the Z right here, you shouldn't be like, oh, I only need to memorize that route. Know everybody's route because that can help you memorize the play concept as a whole. But the first thing you want to start out doing is have the name on one side and then the play on the other. Now we're going to go over a couple strategies to help you review that. Now, before we get into some of the best strategies to memorize your playbook, fellas, if you are a quarterback or receiver and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this off season, we are going to be coming out to 15 different cities across the entire country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So guys, if you want some more information on how you can sign up for those, check out that very first link in the description below. We are going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas. Then we'll be heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada, Seattle, Washington. Then we'll be coming out to Chicago, Illinois. Then we'll be heading out to Newark, New Jersey, Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Boise, Idaho, and then we'll be finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want some more information on that? Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Let's get back to this video. Now, a great strategy that I recommend when memorizing your playbook and going over these note cards that you've made for every single play is testing yourself either on a whiteboard or on a notebook if you don't have a whiteboard. But what you do is you get the name of the play. So the name of the play is Wyoming. So what you would do is you would write it out. I'm a firm believer in writing out the process of something over and over again is a great way to get you to memorize it. It's different than looking at a Quizlet note card on your phone where you're just swiping. I feel like you actually taking the time to write it out by hand is going to help you memorize it. So we got Wyoming. So what I would do is I would draw, okay, there's my center, quarterback, running back, and then I know Wyoming is like a trips concept in our example, and then we have that single side receiver here. So we have a deep post, we have a dig, we have a whip route, and then we have like a backside skinny post, right? So then I flip the note card over and that confirms, okay, deep post, dig, whip, and then Z is running that skinny post. Now let's say I got one wrong. Let's say I had the R running like a drag or something like that. What I would do is I would erase it and then write it out again the correct way with this side of the note card up, and then obviously put it back into the pile where you haven't gotten the answers correct. But that's how I would go about studying it and repping out that note card method. Now let's talk about what you can do if your team doesn't have a playbook. So I think you obviously, like at any team meeting that you have, any period of film study where you're going over plays, where you're going over film from practice, you need to have a notebook and a pen with you. I think if you're watching film with the team, because guys, especially if you're not in high school yet, how it usually goes in high school is you guys will have either a lunch meeting, a meeting right before practice, a meeting maybe right after practice, and you will go to that meeting and they'll be watching film, they'll be talking about plays, they're talking about coverages, etc. You need to have a notebook and a pen at every single meeting, especially if you guys don't have a playbook, and you need to be jotting down, okay, on this play here, make your own type of playbook. Now, some of you guys may not have meetings. Some of you guys may go over new plays on the actual field. So when you go over the plays on the actual field, you know what I want you to do? Right after practice, when the information is fresh in your head, go to your bag where you have a notebook and a pen, a dedicated notebook and pen, and write out everything that you just learned at practice. Because again, the information is fresh in your head. So you go back home, maybe you forgot a couple things, you could go back and review. So those are the best methods I recommend, especially if your team doesn't have a physical playbook.